any stress in their career? Anybody? Any takers? No, not me either. But I've got a tip for you today. I'm going to talk about something that you can trade your stress for that actually does work. It's scientifically and medically proven to help, and it's something we're familiar with, but we may not have made the connection. Okay, so I did some research on this, and Laurie actually posted something this week along that line, and I was so inspired by it that I thought I'm going to talk about that today. And it's compassion. We all know what that is, right? Compassion. But how can that medically and scientifically change our career and actually help us to reduce our stress? So if you take a look at your handouts, we're going to talk about 16 different ways that compassion will actually help you to be stress-free and reduce your stress and actually elevate your career. Sound pretty good, right? If it works, hey, right? Let's do it, okay? So let's take a look at the first one. Compassion is teachable. For those of us who say, well, I didn't grow up, in a compassionate household, or I didn't see a lot of compassion growing up, and there's many who haven't. They didn't grow up with that atmosphere, didn't have that perfect raising or whatever. Compassion is teachable. It's basically a muscle in your brain that can actually be trained to be compassionate to other people. It's kind of like weightlifting. And I thought that was interesting. It can be trained to actually do that. Even if you didn't grow up seeing that, you can be trained to be compassionate and kind. So very interesting. Number 2, compassion produces a domino effect. According to brain studies, those who show kindness developed a desire to pay it forward and act on the behavior they had received themselves. So a domino effect. So you show compassion to somebody else, they show compassion to somebody else, and so what does that do? That domino effect just causes other people to continue to pass that on. So how many want happy employees? Right? Happy people you work with? Anybody want happy people you work with? Right? Okay. So compassion, passing it on, that domino effect, making your atmosphere that you're in even better. Okay? When your atmosphere is better, everybody works harder. We have a much better success rate when we're at work. Number 3, compassion in action produces oxytocin. Oxytocin lowers blood pressure, improves heart health, self-esteem, and optimism. Oxytocin causes the release of a chemical called nitric oxide, which dilates the blood vessels, reducing blood pressure. So it increases your self-esteem. And how many know if we're more confident, we're going to try harder, we're going to hold our head up, we're going to be going to those meetings positive, right? We're going to go in there optimistic that we're going to have a good outcome. So is that not going to benefit our career in some way when we do that? Absolutely, okay? So compassion will cause that to happen. So optimism, improving our health, and when we feel good, obviously, we can do better, and we can work harder when we feel good. So another benefit of compassion. Compassion increases energy and strength, and that's one that's very important, because how many of you have drug home at the end of a day? You ever been there? I've been there, right? It's been one of those kind of days. You drag in, right? We all need energy. We need that energy. We need that extra strength to get us through. When we are more compassionate, we help other people, we show that kindness, we actually have more energy. So it's proven scientifically, according to Christine Carter, that you will have less stress and you'll be calmer and you'll have an increased self-worth when you show compassion and kindness to other people. And number 5, financially generous people are happier. According to a study at Harvard in 2010, people who gave generously financially as charitable donations were happier. Happier people make more successful people. Okay? So when you give out to other people, it produces a happiness in you that causes you to produce better in your careers and so forth. Number 6, volunteers live longer. How many want a good, healthy, long life, right? You don't want to drag through to the end, right? Okay? Absolutely. Volunteers live longer, according to Christine Carter. People 55 and older live 44% longer who volunteer for 2 or more organizations. Many times we say, but I just don't have the time. We're getting to that because people who show compassion actually have more time. Sound crazy? But it works, right? It absolutely does. Number 8, compassion activates the brain's pleasure and reward center. According to Emory University, kindness produces a pleasure in the giver. And that makes sense. Don't we always feel better when we help somebody else out? We put a smile on their face. You hold the door for them. You do something for them. You feel better. You feel better when you help your clients, when you help somebody else. It makes you feel like you've accomplished something even greater when you do this for other people. Number 9, compassion stimulates the production of serotonin. Similar to antidepressants, this natural hormone calms you down, makes you happy, and heals wounds. I think that's really impressive because so many people today, it's easy to be on the antidepressants to get them through. How many know God's provided for us the natural remedy, compassion? Compassion will actually do that. We don't need the antidepressants, we just need to get more compassion, because that compassion is the natural remedy that fixes those problems for us and stimulates that hormone that calms us down and makes us happy. Number 10, sorry, I skipped one. Compassion produces endorphins. They're the body's natural painkiller. So it helps you to feel better. You're not in as much pain. You're not stressing, you know. Stress will cause you to have the backaches. It will cause you to hurt all over. And when you hurt, you don't produce well. I mean, you don't feel like doing anything. You know, you're not giving your best in your career or anything else. So when you're compassionate, you will be producing that natural painkiller that helps your body. The next one, number 11, perpetually compassionate people have 23% less cortisol. Cortisol is the body's stress hormone. These same people age slower. And I'm all for aging slower, okay? I'm not gonna tell you how old I'm turning this year, but it's a milestone. So, and Laurie knows this one. And so, you know, we definitely want to slow down that aging process, okay? All right, number 12, anxiety-prone people who show compassion have better relationships, more positive moods, and a decrease in social avoidance. This study was performed by the University of Columbia on a group of healthy, anxious individuals. So it slows down that and helps you have better relationships. How is that not going to benefit your career if you have better relationships? Because we know it's all about relationships. That's why we're here. Relationship marketing. That's why we're here. So definitely compassion. Okay? 13, compassion decreases depression. It gives you an overall life satisfaction, overall health, and good fortune are increased. Okay? Financial success will come to you when you're compassionate to other people. Number 14, compassion makes you attractive. According to the charterofcompassion.org, in a survey given to both men and women, compassion rated as the most important factor in relationship choices. When you show kindness to other people, that was the number one thing that drew them in both men and women. People saw that kindness. They saw that you cared about them, and that is what drew them. That's what attracted them to you, okay, and to them. So it's important that we're kind to other people. They see that before they see anything else, okay? So that will build your career. Number 15, compassion creates a state of elevation. According to Jonathan Haney at the University of Virginia, helping people creates an elevation. And 16, finally, compassion extends a feeling of having more time and money. And I said we would get there. Crazy as it sounds, it gives you a feeling of more time and money, more energy. You feel like you can do more. It extends all that. How many want to feel like you have more time in the day, and more energy in the day, and more money, right? Absolutely. We all want to be there, right? So according to Zoe Chance, volunteer, time creates a feeling of more time, or compassion creates a feeling of more time and money for those who actually engage in it. So all that being said, it's very clear to see that if we traded compassion for the stress that we have in our life, and we go out today and we do an extra kind deed, we do something for somebody, showing kindness or compassion, it's going to affect our life in a positive way because it stimulates our brain and it makes our days more productive in multiple areas. So my suggestion to you today, and my encouragement to you, is to go out and do something for somebody else, put it to the test, see if it works, because it will, because God has provided that. He is the giver of compassion for us. He has put that there for us, so less stress is the goal, more compassion.